Hi all, welcome to this tutorial on how to create a Toadstool in Nomad Sculpt. But before we start, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel and to like the video if you really like it, and so to support my work. Thanks. Okay, now let's start. To start up this cartoonish looking Toadstool, we're gonna choose the lace tool and we're gonna choose the curve. Now we want to draw a shape representing the head of our mushroom, maybe like this. I like to activate the spline and to lower the number of points here. So now it's just a matter on getting our base shape the way we like it. And make sure to do this in front view to draw the curve. And your curve is drawn, you can change the view and look if it looks alright to you. So for me, I think this must be a little higher. Okay, this will work. So now I will validate this shape and I will go to add the lamelle, I think it's called in English. So the bottom part of the head. To do so, I will add a box to the scene. I will now, in the material menu, turn off the smooth shading for this and manipulate the shape so that I have one small rectangle that is just inside my inner head of my mushroom. And to do so, you will need to grab the small points of the gizmo tool and manipulate your shape with this. So I think getting somewhere there. And now we want to look at our topology, and I think there are too much polygons for this rectangle, so I will go to the primitives menu and lower the divisions in the Z axis. Okay, I think this looks good. Now I will validate this. So to make things easier, I will go and color my shapes so we can better see what's going on. I will take a reddish color for the head, and I will take a yellow color, not much saturation in there, for the lamelles. Okay, now we need lots of these lamelles. We'll make it a little smaller again. So I will add a radial repeater, and you instantly see that our box is repeated 4 times in the y-axis. So I will increase this number to the highest it goes, and validate this. So now I go to the scene menu and clone my lamelles two times. I will select the first clone, rotate it a small amount. We'll take the second clone, rotate it again. Like this. Now you see we have lots of lamelles. So I will join them all together. And that's it. That's the head of our mushroom. So now it looks a little symmetrical and it looks a little symmetrical and not much organic. So to change that, we go to join the head and the lamelles together in the scene menu. And now we want to grab our move tool, turn symmetry off, lower the intensity, and make sure we had connected topology turned off. You can find this in the stroke menu. I will rotate to my front view and I will start to manipulate this shape a little. And what this does, if you uncheck connected topology, is that you also move the lamelles with your moving of the head. So now I'm able to get a little bit of an organic feel to my mushroom. I think I like this. And I will go to the scene menu and separate them again. So now we have separate every lamelle. That's not what we want. We want the lamelles to keep together. So I will name this head, and I will go and join all these lamelles again. And also name them lamelle. Most of the time I don't name my shapes, but every time I think I need to do it to keep a better overview of what's going on. So let's do this. And now we can also go back to the material menu for the head and turn smooth shading on. And let's smooth the head a little. Okay. I think this already looks pretty good. Now, what to do next? In the next step, we want to go to our tube tool, select the curve, lock the front view, and make our bottom part for our mushroom. So to do so, I will activate 2 radius points, make the bottom point really big and the top point a little smaller. Also activate spline, get 1 point near the bottom point to get a straight line in the bottom end, and make a little curve here. Also do 1 point near the top point to get a straight line, and this will be the base of our mushroom. So we can validate this now. Let's turn to the side view, activate our gizmo tool and move it to the middle of our head. Also take a look from the bottom. It's really in the middle. I think this looks fine. Right, now we got a basic mushroom right now. Pretty easy, pretty fast. I will go and color our mushroom base in a whitish color, and to give it a better look I will now go to add my first light. I will choose a spotlight. Let's zoom a little out, and this light should hit the top of the mushroom's head. So I rotate it in the way I need it. And now we go to adjust the color. I like a warm color for my first spotlight, and the intensity needs to be increased. Also the cone angle needs to get a lot bigger. So this looks fine, I think. And also we will add a second light, also a spotlight. The color not too warm but also not too cold. And with this light, spotlight, we will make a rim light. So this light should hit our mushroom from the back side to give us a nice light edge. You will see what I mean. And here you go and increase the intensity a lot, and you go for something that hits the edge of your mushroom. Increase the cone light, and instantly you see the edge coming to your mushroom and give it more natural, live looking look. Okay, this should it be for the lightning at the moment. So the next thing we want to do is the downer part of the mushroom. I don't know how it calls in English, but you will see what I mean when we do it. So we grab our front view, again lock it, choose our lace tool, the curve, and start by centering this middle line of the lace tool with our base shape, and draw a shape like this. Again, use the spline, get as less points as you need. Okay, I think this looks fine. Validate this. So now you need to center your shape to your mushroom's base. This looks good. Now you go with your move tool again and try to get this shape a little bit more organic. And also look that the shape is really covering your base of your mushroom. Accidentally activate the lamelles. So if you do something like this, it's always good to activate the shape you want to work with and to lock the shape, so you can't accidentally choose another shape and do some adjustments you don't want to do. So I think this looks already cool. So now to get this more folds in, we need to subdivide it 2 times to get more polygons here to work with. Then we will use the mask tool, and with a simple click in the viewport you can unmask all, mask all, and now you can switch your mask tool to unmask with a small radius and draw a line like this. So make sure this line is following your shape to get it more realistic, and make sure this mask is thinner at the top and thicker at the bottom. Now go to the setting mask menu, blur it sometimes, invert your mask, blur again, invert your mask. This is our mask that we want. Now get the move tool and start moving this shape out. Like this. I think this looks fine. So to get it even more realistic, we can take a few steps back, go back to our mask, and also put him there, and also unmask a part in the inner. Again, blur it, invert, blur it, invert. Choose your move tool. Yeah, this looks a little better. And every time you do something like this, take your time, not like me in this tutorial now, to get it perfectly looking the way you want it to look. Clear your mask and repeat this step. Again, blur it, invert, blur, invert. And to do this, you need to make sure you have not too much polygons and not too less. In this case, I think I can work with less polygons, but it still works with that amount of polygons, so there's no problem. And you already see it starts to look more realistic and more organic. So I will leave it that way. Unmask everything. In the top there's a little error, I see, so select the move tool, move this a bit out. Okay, this is looking good. I will color this part also in with a more yellowish color. And we are good to go. So now some final touches I like to do. I like to activate the head, also subdivide it sometimes, because now we want to go and make some paint on it. I think maybe this is enough, we will test it. So to do the points of the Toadstool, we need to activate our paint tool. We go here to the alpha, we need no alpha, so you need to activate the first square here. Then we need to go to the crop dynamic radius in the stroke menu, and we need to activate a fall off. So we do cat mule room and make a fall off like this. We need to pick a white color, and now we can drag out some of these points by just hitting the head and drawing our stylus a little to the side. So don't overdo it, just some. Try to make them different. Try not to create a pattern. For more realistic, we will now go back to the preset, fall off, activate dot, sample the color of our lamelles, lower the intensity of a brush, and paint the inside of our head with this color. So go some times over it till you feel it looks good. Okay, I think this will work. And now we go and activate the subsurface scattering for this mushroom. In this case, I like to simulate the color of our main light, so a warm orange tone. Set the depth to a point you like it. I think this looks good. Also activate the subsurface material for the lamelles. At instant they look much more realistic. So you can also go and increase the subdivisions, but if you do it just by subdividing, you will see they get very roundish. Maybe it looks good, maybe not. I like to activate the linear subdivision for the first subdivide, then deactivate it and activate it again. So now I like to move without symmetry the lamelles a little, so that they don't look repeated over and over again. Make some of them a little larger, make some of them a little trilled. Move them out a little. Okay, I think this looks fine. Also activate the subsurface scattering, the subsurface scattering material for the lower part. Again, choose your color, choose your depth, and the same with the base of the mushroom. Okay, I think this already looks really fine. So now one last thing we want to do is to get this mushroom a little texture. So go and choose your stamp tool, activate the head. We already have lots of polygons, but not enough, so we subdivide again. Choose an alpha. In this case, I show you my alpha here, and I use, let me find it, something like this. So these are all these are only points with less or more intensity, and they are small or bigger. So let's choose this. Let's activate a fall off like this. Don't allow dynamic topology. Make the intensity very low and drag out some of this texture. Okay, already looking good. Maybe activate your post process. And you see the last options I choose are not good for this mushroom, so let's tweak them. So we definitely want no depth of field in this case. We don't want bloom. The tone mapping we set to neutral. We don't want it that saturated. Contrast 0, less, more saturation maybe. Color grading is fine. A little coverage. It's okay. Ambient occlusion. Like this. Activate global illuminative. And I think this looks already fine. Maybe increase the render solution. So yeah, do the same texture to the base. So subdivide again and again and again, and draw out our texture, not too intense. So now we're finished with our little mushroom. So as I said before, take your time, don't hurry. If you do some sculptures like these, we maybe can now add a plane to simulate the ground of our mushroom. Simply drag a plane out, validate it, give it a color. Brownish color in this case. I'll go and get the render resolution back to 1. So my Nomad Sculpt is not lagging anymore. Choose your move tool and get some variations in your plane. So now it looks nice. Maybe we can activate the perspective view to get it a little cooler. Yes, I think this is fine looking mushroom. Okay, I think that's all for the mushroom tutorial by now. Yeah, let me know what you want to see in the next tutorials maybe. And enjoy Nomad Sculpt. Bye bye.